Melissa O'Neill, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm
Oh, yay.
Thank you for coming.
sorry I'm late. Daddy!
We'll beat her later. It's okay.
This is awesome. Is everyone recording already? Oh.
Yeah, they're recording. The walk of shame. Okay.
Not that kind of shame.
Oh, it's not your first
We'll edit that out.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yes.
I did not. It wasn't me.
Hi, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning, Melissa.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic.
Very well, thanks.
Morning.
Roger's been telling us all about you.
No!
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
trust a
No,
thing he
yeah. No,
says.
yeah.
What?
I'm kidding.
That hurts.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry I interrupted. Okay.
Okay. All right.
okay.
Where were you? Continue.
No. Yes, and then there's this one time she was on her head. And then,
Just like doing spins.
yeah.
Mad head spins.
Yeah. She got skills.
Yep.
All right.
Where were you guys?
Where were we?
Where were you guys?
We were right here.
No, what were we
No,
talking about?
we're talking about like the East Coast, West Coast, and she was like the New York, Toronto, New York of Canada, and Vancouver, LA, and I'm like, nah,
Right.
they're different.
Yeah,
They're so
Montreal is
different.
like the New Orleans.
See, you can do that. That's, all relative, right?
Yeah.
Montreal's a nice, fun city.
I haven't been to New
Montreal.
Orleans.
Montreal. Haven't been to New Orleans?
Mm-mm.
I guess not.
Was it cool?
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Get you some poutine.
Oh, they have poutine. They have poutine in Montreal. They got a lot of poutine. And Toronto too. They got a lot of poutine there. All kinds of flavors of poutine. I didn't even know there were that many. It's true. You have these poutine places. Oh, remember that one night we went out there and
Oh, on
this
College
place
Street, Smokies.
had like, yeah. had, like,
Yeah.
How many different kinds of
I don't
poutine
think we
that
should
place had?
ever be like eating that
Yeah,
amount of
that's
potatoes that late at night though. That was a lot of food. It was delicious.
Okay. We're not supposed to take one.
Yeah. And
Anyways,
circling
yes,
back
and-
to the show.
Let's go.
He was giving us his first impressions of Dragon Con. How about yours?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I haven't really had too much of an opportunity to see it proper yet, but in contrast to, because I've only really been to two other ones. We went to MCM in London this past summer, and the other one is San Diego. And I gotta say, not to put any of the other cons on blast, because all the other ones are fantastic in their own way, but I feel like this one is so much more driven by the fans and by the cosplayers. Like, it feels when you're walking through, the costumes are totally on another level, and the concentration and quality of the costuming is just higher. When we were first walking in to do the Walk of Fame, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay. Blah. When we were first walking through, it was just everywhere. I was giving myself whiplash because everyone looked so good. And you guys do a parade here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting ready right now.
Yeah, I was watching the news and they're starting to tease it, and I wish we could see it, but I think we're gonna be inside the entire time. But yeah, everyone looks so good. It feels like you're walking onto a movie set a little bit, and it's hard to believe that everyone does this stuff at home. Like, there were people coming up to the table yesterday, cosplaying characters from The Division, and they had, like, this guy had done used a 3D printer and cast the entire piece of gear that's there, and he layered in LED lights. It looked legit. I thought he bought it. Long answer to say, it's awesome. It's awesome, and I feel a little bit nerdy about it because it's great. Like, the execution of costumes has been fantastic here. Yeah.
If you think they're good now, you should people watch at night.
I just found out there's karaoke in our hotel at night.
Where?
In our hotel, like at the back. Yeah, from 9 to 1.
We're in tomorrow.
No, not that bar. The back of the lobby. Yeah.
Oh,
We gotta go
alright.
check that out.
We weren't at the
Someone's
bar, I
out
mean.
there. I was not at the bar.
Oh, and they're dressed up doing karaoke too. It's awesome.
What?
Alright, we gotta check that out.
It's nerd mecca here, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it feels
After
that
a
way.
5 truths and a lie later.
Yeah, tell us about that. Tell us
do.
about
I figured out my story.
We can't tell a story now.
No, we can't tell the story now,
Can't
but I
tell the story.
finally figured out what my story was going to be.
I had to edit and figure, like, I can't tell this because I would bust this person, or I can't do that. Some things.
Yeah,
are
or you
lies to
can't
tell.
do that because you're lying
Yeah.
or telling the truth.
Oh, or telling the truth. Yeah.
Did you guys give away what you
No.
was gonna happen?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you're not the liar?
No.
I don't know. We don't know.
Well, we might be acting
We
as
could be.
liars.
We might be just, leading you astray right now.
Yeah. Is that really the best panel? Is like that the one you're most
I
looking forward
have
to?
gone the past 2 years, and the stories that get told are completely wild.
Oh my
At
god.
one point, there
Oh,
was
no.
a story about like a member of Being Human SyFy cast taking a photo, like a nude photo of herself to send to her boyfriend, and then going to like a casting table, and handing a phone over, and trying to show her dog and showing something else. Which was,
That feels truthful.
it was.
It
It was alarming. It was super
no.
alarming. The girl who did it was super sweet, but they're just wild stories that happen on that, and
Oh
I'm
my
always
gosh.
like, okay.
How honest are we gonna be?
I'm gonna be pretty honest.
Don't tell her that. Say you don't
Maybe.
know.
I'm so pumped for this.
Oh.
I'm so excited to see you guys in your stories.
Serious question. Hi, Crystal. About
Hi.
Crystal.
That's my
Broadway.
middle name. Just throw it out.
The difference in being on Broadway and doing television, on Broadway, you learn one 2-hour thing, and you do it day after day after day. TV, you do something different every day. What's that like?
Well, specifically on Broadway, my last go at it, I was understudying 2 characters, and also I think on Broadway, you oftentimes, if you are in the ensemble, which I was both times, you're stepping into other people's shoes constantly, and I think the difference with, even though you're portraying the same story every night, you have to keep it alive, and the environment is always alive, and so when people are in the back, like I think it is the best training ground I had for acting, because I didn't go to school, and I loved being in the ensemble because not only could I watch all of my peers who have gone to school, but it's like a constant playground for improv and for trying things out and for figuring out, okay, who is this character today, and then the next day being able to shift and focus on something else. And it's a massive exercise in constantly being present and alive and listening. And I think that has carried over really well into television for my experience, like to always stay present and listening to what the person is giving me as opposed to just what I rehearsed on the page by myself. I forget the question.
What's the differences in Broadway and TV? So did that help you in the episode where you were as the Alt Raza crew, where the blink drive took you into an alternate reality?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I think that my experience in theater definitely laid that foundation for what I understand storytelling to be and how to approach it. I think I have very much an imposter syndrome because I didn't go to school for this craft, and it is a craft. But I've spent 10 years working with people who did and being beside them, and working alongside them and learning from them and learning just from trial and error what I've learned.
That's your school.
Yeah, that has been so
That's your school.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a really interesting transition, but I think like singing and like any kind of performance, it's to me akin to a painter and how they like to use different mediums. So sometimes they use acrylic, sometimes they use oils. It's all storytelling, it's just different forms of doing it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anthony was telling me along those lines, I did an interview with him, and we was talking about the pilot, and how you, being new to all of it, were asking questions about the tape, and like,
Yeah.
what are they doing? And,
Yeah, I had no idea what was happening.
She still does that.
Yeah, no, but like specifically when the tape was set in a certain way, and I pride myself on like consistency and like knowing what was what, and I could totally be a continuity person. And there were times where they like put the tape down on the ground, and then the cameras would shift and everything, and we'd come back into the room because they excused us from set when they set up a next shot. And we'd come back into the room and the tape would be in different places. And the first few times I was like adamant, like I did not stand here. It's important that I be over there. Like I'm not. And Roger's just like, can you just move and I'll talk to you later. Just when we're trying to shoot, so if you could just move and go to your tape, that'd be great.
No,
I didn't
I
stand there.
told you why.
No. You were super cool about it, but I was like, I don't know, this is not where I stood, and this shot is gonna be wrong. But yeah, steep learning curve, and everyone was so gracious and very helpful. But very overwhelming at times to be in an environment where you're constantly like, and what the hell does that mean? Okay, moving on. Yeah.
I have a question for both of you about the show itself. I work for a radio station that we do recaps, and they're like fan-run recaps, where we have the fans call in and talk about the different things that are going on in the show. And one thing that, for both of your characters, for Six, the one thing that we really discussed a lot last year, and so I gotta kind of want to get your take on it, was when did you find out in the filming, reading the scripts, etc. process, when did you find out that you were the one?
The
And-
very, oh, go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, and how did that affect how you played the character?
You know, he didn't let us know till the final day. And it was literally just before the final scene that was shot. That was the final scene of the season. He kept it a secret because he's like, he didn't want it to taint. And it's true, you know, you think you're professional enough to not let it affect your character, but when you know certain things, you subconsciously you might throw little bits into your character and like give things away. But by not, we had inklings about who it was and why and things like that. But I mean, it was always tossed around a little bit. But it will affect it. And I think that's why it came across as such a shock to everyone.
That it
Because,
was.
you know what I mean? It's kind of like my character wasn't that guy that anyone thought would ever do something like that. He was, you know, he's a pretty straightforward guy and that sort of thing. And to be that, and I guess underhanded in the way he went about executing this. But which, let's be honest, it's the only way he could have done it because these, you know, he's got an android and this person here with nanites to their body and samurai man and all these things going on. You know what I mean? It's kind of like he's not going to overpower this team, so he's got to use this. And so, you know, and so and I don't know if you've seen the DVD extra, but Joe Malazzi on the day literally had a little thing where he said, "So here we are about to shoot the final scene, and we're gonna start with 4, and he has the gas mask." And go, and you are not the traitor. And then he went over, and 2, well, she's this, and the reason she would do this is this, and blah, 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 so you are not the traitor. And he went around and finally go over, and here's 6, he's the good guy, and he's this, blah, 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 and you are the traitor.
Oh, their weakest link.
Yes, and he literally went and he had Anthony and I believe Alex going for fittings for a GA outfit to kind of throw us all off. And so and he made sure to tell them, don't tell anyone that you went in for these fittings. So they were both thinking, oh my God, we are actually the moles. And these guys don't know it.
Yeah.
And even when we were from the last day as well, the Anders characters came back. And he was supposed to be, so he was there the whole day, but they literally tried to hide him. Like, people can't see you.
Oh yeah.
We can't know when you're here.
I forgot about
Because,
that.
because then they'll know it has something
That's
to do with
right.
you because the last time they saw you was
Yeah.
when we left them. So he literally had to, like, when we were on set, secretly go do makeup and then basically go back to his trailer and stay in this trailer and couldn't leave it till he came out to film. And so he was very sneaky, that Joel Nazi guy.
Well, the same kind of type of question for you, Melissa. For 2, when did you find out that you were more than human? And if you found out early on, before the actual episode where we found out, did you play that into your character?
So when we were prepping season 1, we got the first 6 episodes, the scripts for the first 6 episodes. And right away after reading the first 6, I was just like, something's off with her. something's off about her. I know something's up. And I felt like she was, there's actually a really bizarre moment I had because the entire time I'd been training with my stunt double, Anita, and we ended up becoming good friends. But she was talking to me about something and I was so in my head about it. I hadn't talked to anyone about it. And I think she was talking about her mother or something, and I was zoned out, and I looked up at her, and I was like, Anita, she goes, yeah, I think I'm an android. And out of nowhere, she's staring at me, and she's just kind of like,
Here, have another puff.
Yeah, she was like, no, she was like, anyway, so that was my Thanksgiving. What are you talking about? But I took Joe out for dinner, and I was like, hey, I think there's something up with my character, and I think it's really important that you guys tell me so I can do something about it and layer that in. And ultimately, they didn't tell me, and I didn't know definitively until that episode aired. Or rather, when that episode came out, where 2 discovered it. And I think the logic behind that is she's not meant to be an affected AI who has human qualities. She is essentially, for all intents and purposes, a human. She's flesh and blood. You open her up, she's got all of those components. And I'm sure that we're going to continue to delve into her history and her backstory. But she's a human, and she happens to have nanites. Who knows what's going to happen with this like new chunk of nanites that she got, and how that's going to alter her. But I would have liked to have layered things in, but
Yeah, but your character also didn't know she was that
No,
until it happened.
but
And so
that's
it's,
what- yeah.
which is what is good about not knowing these things.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I said, you want to think, oh, it's okay, I won't let it affect the character, but in your prep work and things like that, we're developing these characters as we go along. And as I said, subconsciously sometimes you might, if you have knowledge of something, you will probably not, fully let it affect the character, but it will. And it'll probably seep through into a scene that you might do it, the extra little, or so, just subtle things that a camera can pick up, on stage, which is also a big difference between stage and the film. Is kind of like, if I have a lot of subtleties on stage, someone in the back of the room, they don't see it. They don't know what's going on, but with the camera right there, if you just gonna go like this, they've got it and they get the message. And so it's just the medium lends itself to these nuances that are very easily picked up.
Yeah, and I think it was enough for her to, because I already had those suspicions, that was already in my performance,
Exactly,
And
that's what
it's
I
the
was,
same thing
that's
for
what I was
2.
thinking
Like
as well.
2 had those suspicions, and it was enough for me to have that, and for her and I to kind of discover that together.
Those nanites saved your butt in last night's episode.
Not kidding.
Don't tell me, I haven't watched that last
Yeah,
episode yet. Don't spoil me.
You're 2 behind. You're
Don't
1
spoil
behind.
me.
I can tell by what you guys are talking about.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Don't spoil
so-
Sorry.
Oops.
We have time for one more question, so if you want to, just one more question, and then if there's anything else you guys want to wrap up with, any new projects or anything you want to talk about.
Thank you.
Congratulations on season 3.
Thank you.
Yes. And just generally, I know you can't say a whole lot, but what can you tease about what's coming up at the end of season 2? What are you looking forward to? Is there anything as big as the end of season 1, for instance?
It's probably bigger. It's bigger.
Yeah.
I say it's bigger.
It's massive.
If you thought that was crazy, this season ender is what? It's gonna shock some folks. It's gonna be very, very interesting.
I have no idea how we're going to be coming back in season 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's that
that's-
crazy.
Yeah, it's the kind of ender where I think that the entire audience is gonna go, What?
The hell is that?
what just happened and why? And how long do I have to wait? Yeah, I think there's gonna be some massive strides made for a particular character in the show that will blindside people, because we've never seen them in that kind of a way, or in that environment. Yeah, I can say more. I'm being totally ambiguous about everything. We can't have our last question, Roger, be like, it's gonna make you go, huh?
Yes,
Great
yes.
answer for the last
You
question.
can.
But yeah, I think it's going to be, Joe loves his WTF moments, and he fights for them, and I know that he had a few really big key ones when he was looking at the arc of this entire story, and the way that this season ends is one of those key moments. Yeah.
Well, anything else you guys want to say, or
I'm being
let us know
totally
about?
ambiguous. I
didn't
know.
say
Anybody, when you guys
anything.
cut these together, it's just gonna be Roger sitting there like,
I say nothing.
I know, and you don't
Go
need to, I
ahead.
got it.
What was your question?
No, just is there anything else you guys want to just let us know about? Anything new you're working on, or just social media people can follow you? Just any final wrap up things you guys wanted to say before we
Are you gonna be back on This Life?
Oh my gosh, no. The 2 things I did last year, This Life and Rogue. Rogue moved up to Vancouver. I'm really bummed
Move
about
back
it.
to Vancouver.
Yeah, they moved back to
it was
Vancouver.
there.
I was really sad about that, to not revisit that person. But yeah, this summer I did a little thing on Ransom, which was really cool, which is a new show that's coming up. And I did a movie musical thing. So who knows when that's coming out, but that was a trip, and like every character that I take on is always a total departure from 2. I don't ever want to do anything that's remotely close to who she is, because I love her in this environment. Yeah, so everything else is very, very different. Thanks for asking about that though. Yeah, that was a fun show. I'm bummed it didn't come back around.
I mean, I'll be voicing Green Lantern and Swamp Thing in Justice League.
Awesome.
I have 2 projects with Neil Blomkamp, the District 9 director that you guys will see, and one of to a platform that once again, I can't really give anything away until they release it. That'll be out. I mean, Planet of the Apes, you'll see that, and you're gonna see a bunch of things. I've been busy the last while, and so I'll be around. But I'm looking forward to season 3.
Yeah.
And what was that? And social media, the Roger Cross. That's my.
Nice.
And I know now I have Instagram.
I know, he finally has Instagram.
Continue to make me get Twitter now. Because we met the Twitter folks when we were in London, and they were launching the motion thing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, fine. I have.
Oh, yeah. The
So,
boomerang booth.
yes.
Yeah, their con was
So,
fun. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you coming out here, and thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, don't even.